I'm your co-host Mario, and we have a very, very special guest with us today. But I needed a person with me to co-host this show, the one and only man with the plan, Mustafa Ebadi, our COO. Mustafa, thank you so much for joining us today. Greatly appreciate it.
Thank you, Mario. Hello, everybody. My name is Mustafa Ebadi. I'm thrilled to be here. I'm Chief Operating Officer at SOTI, and I oversee our global sales, our global services, and operations. And with us, we do have a special guest, Mr. Ehsan Youssef. He is Vice President of Small, Medium Enterprise and Channel at Microsoft Canada. He has been with Microsoft Canada for nearly 20 years. For those of you who don't know, Microsoft Canada has been in operations for about 40 years. And Ehsan has spent 20 years of that time with Microsoft, so nearly 50%. And we're thrilled to have you here. Great individual. I'll call him a friend, and we're really excited to have you with us today.
Well, thank you, Mustafa. Thank you, Mario. It's extreme. I'm humbled and I'm honored to be here in this episode of SOTI TV, and I'm excited for the conversation. I know that we're gonna take a lot of twists and turns and talk about a lot of things, but it's exciting to be here.
Yeah, and like I said at the top, 20 years. It's been a long time, right? So why don't you actually take us through your journey at Microsoft? I'm sure with Bill and then later on Steve, Satya at the helm, and now ChatGPT and now AI everybody's talking about. So if you can walk us through your journey and our audience through your journey, that will be awesome.
With pleasure. I mean, obviously, in nearly 20 years, a lot changes. And it's no different for a company like ours that we just celebrated our 50-year anniversary as a company. And a lot has changed from the early days of Bill Gates with a mission of putting a PC on every desk and on every home. That used to be a mission that was, at the time, incredibly big. It was a big vision. And nowadays, we have a PC in our pockets, in our phones, all right? And so during that era, we saw under Bill really a software company and industry getting invented. Then we saw under Steve Ballmer, Microsoft becoming a trusted enterprise provider. And now under Satya, it's been an incredible time. He's been our leader for the last 10 plus years. And he focused deeply on the culture of Microsoft and brought the innovation and the focus to go to market to serve our customers and partners in a meaningful way, and reinvigorated the company with a new mission to empower every person and every organization on the planet to achieve more. And for me, I get to do this every day with our small and medium enterprise customers, the lifeblood of the economy in Canada. And so I'm really excited about this time and where we're going.
That's awesome. And I believe we have something in common, which is this used to be the office that you used to work out of, right?
That is correct. I mean, when I walk into this office, there's this extreme amount of nostalgia. Because for many years, this is where my office was I've been on the different floors from the 4th to 3rd and so on. And I'm so proud that a Canadian company like SOTI that has grown so tremendously has now taken over this office as we move to downtown Toronto and is making such good use of it.
I gotta tell you, you're welcome anytime. You want to come back anytime, you're more than welcome. So we can find you a private office here, but sure, your own.
So it's funny, not only do we share a building in common, you guys seem like you guys got some history back and forth, like you've known each other for years. Walk me through that, guys. What's going on?
Well, we've got history, to put it mildly. Do you want me to talk about it?
Yeah, please do, Mustafa.
Okay. So before I talk about how Ehsan and I met, we were working with Microsoft for a long time. Microsoft has been an amazing partner. I personally was working with one gentleman called Darren Messel, and he and him had a few conversations about our partnership and where we want to go. And we're making a lot of progress. But Darren kept referring back to, okay, well, I have to check with Ehsan, and I have to check with Ehsan. And I'm thinking, who's this Ehsan guy? Who is that Darren keeps referring back to? So I was traveling, and I was in Europe, and we scheduled a call. Ehsan came on call, and we started negotiation. To say that negotiation did not go well is an understatement. I tell him, he hang up on me. He tells me I hang up on him. But regardless, we hang up on each other. And I don't know what he felt, but I felt, and I said, I will not work with Ehsan. This is not going to work out. A few months down the road, Darren and I are having multiple conversations. And Darren and I had breakfast. And at breakfast, he told me, I think you should meet Ehsan. I think you and Ehsan will get along fine. I think you guys remind me of each other. And I have a lot of respect for Darren, so I reluctantly accepted it. And we met for lunch. I don't know if you recall or not, at Panera Bread down the road. We met for lunch. And after that, it's just been like a great, great working relationship that we built on. We get along very well. We text each other on different things. And he has definitely been somebody that I've called and asked for advice, and if I'm not sure of how about certain things. And I'm going to say that I'm proud to call him even a friend.
Yeah, so. I appreciate that, Mustafa, and I do consider you a friend. And I think about that initial call. You know, if you know Mustafa, it's hard to say no to Mustafa, okay? But somehow we kind of got through that, and I think our partnership and our relationship is better because of it. And so I love where we are today and look to build on the friendship and the partnership even more.
So I love the energy, guys. I can see you guys are going to do really well in this episode. So I do have a little game that I like to play with all of our co-hosts and our guests, and that's called Rapid Fire Round. I'll walk you guys through the rules of the game. I'm going to give you guys a series of questions, and there's going to be one answer or the other, and you must pick from one of those two sections. Now, because you're our guest, we'll start with you, then Mustafa will go to you, and then we'll finish myself. You guys ready?
Ready.
Awesome. So, first question, early riser or night owl?
Early riser.
Early riser.
I guess I'm the odd man out. Night owl. Security first or user first?
That's a tough one to choose, but security first.
Yeah, I would say tough one as well. I pride ourselves in being very user-centric and enabling our users internally. But if I had to choose, I would say security first, especially in today's day and age, security first.
Yeah, I think, Mustafa, I would totally agree with you today. Security's got to come first, especially in this day and age. So the next question, brick and mortar or online shopping?
With the time constraints these days, online shopping.
I don't do a lot of shopping. The only thing I buy is technology, and I would like to actually go and feel and touch the technology. So for technology shopping, I would say in-store.
I'm going to keep it simple. I'm staying online. No more stores for me. So here's a tough one. Windows or Mac OS?
I wonder what I'm going to say.
I wonder that too.
But obviously I'm a big fan of Windows. I've been for a very long time, and I think it's an incredible tool with a lot of flexibility.
Agreed?
Yeah, I would say the same. Windows. I've always been a user, and I believe I always will be a Windows user.
Windows. Netflix or YouTube?
Netflix.
Okay.
YouTube.
Netflix. Google search or ChatGPT?
Interesting, because I use Copilot, but it's the same concept. It's the ChatGPT experience. Yeah.
Got it.
It's a tough one. Obviously, we're all used to using Google search, but I would say I've been using ChatGPT a lot more in the last little while than Google search.
Yeah, ChatGPT for me as well. So let's start off with what's next for Windows and rugged in the cards. So before we get into this hot topic of AI, let's talk a little bit about Windows, right? The world runs on Windows. It's been that way for many, many years. We've seen it as Microsoft's bread and butter product for so many years. Anything new in the industry or interesting that we can expect to see as we evolve this product that we've been powered by for so long?
Windows has always been the foundation of productivity and innovation for billions of users and businesses around the world. And that's not slowing down. What's exciting is how Windows is evolving into an intelligent, cloud-connected platform that's deeply integrated with AI, security, and management at scale. We're bringing Copilot directly into Windows so that people can do what they want to do faster, more intuitively, and with incredible power at their fingertips. And when I think about the enterprises, the biggest thing is really around modern management, zero trust security, and seamless integration with Microsoft 365 and Azure. This is where partners like SOTI shine. You got incredibly deep expertise in mobility and device management that complements our vision. And so especially in the front line in rugged environments where people do mission critical work. And so together we're enabling organizations to manage, secure, and optimize their Windows environments and fleets from edge to cloud.
Well said, Ehsan. And actually, even for us, if I think about SOTI, Windows in our history and what we have done with Windows CE, Windows Mobile, and even right now, our focus that we have today on Windows and doubling down on Windows just continues, and our Windows business is growing. But I also want to ask you another question. Windows on rugged devices. So, for example, in our space, we do a lot on Toughbooks, Panasonic Toughbooks. We also do a lot with G-Tech type of devices. So you have any thoughts on Windows Rugged and where any new form factors, or can we see smartphones again coming back? What are your thoughts there?
Good one. Windows is no longer confined to the traditional PC form factors. What we're trying to really do is expand across any kind of form factor that delivers unique value and unique user experiences to users. And so Panasonic's rugged Windows tablets are a great example of how Windows is powering mission-critical work in the toughest environments. But, as for smartphones, our focus isn't on re-entering the phone hardware market, but on making Windows and Microsoft 365 experiences seamless across all devices, regardless if you're using Android, iOS, any specialized hardware. We're to a connected ecosystem where your data, your apps, and now your AI assistant, Copilot, follow you wherever you go.
And that's interesting that you bring us to our next subject. So talk to us a little bit about that elephant in the room, AI. Tell us your relationship with OpenAI, integrating with Copilot and Microsoft products today, and how is AI shaping your company's future?
Oh, that's a fantastic question, and it's definitely the biggest thing that's shaping Microsoft today. Our partnership with OpenAI is an incredible partnership where we gain access to the latest, greatest models, and then we take that, make sure that it is deeply compliant to the world's most stringent regulations and integrate them into our application stack across Microsoft 365 so that we can put that productivity, that AI assistant in the hands of employees and users around the world and raise their productivity and impact to their business. And reality is where we're going is to support a world where agents will be resources available to every employee to actually do more every day. And so that's how our partnership with OpenAI and our focus on AI will shape the future of our company for years to come.
So yeah, and I can chime in here too. I mean, from our perspective, if you think about it, we're also starting to leverage AI a lot more and more. And one of the tools that we've developed internally is called SOTI GPT. And we started using it in our services organization. And what we are doing there is to measure the output of our services and our support people in terms of helping our customers resolve the issues without a human interaction. And what we noticed was we were piloting with another technology, this new feature that we're bringing to our customers. And with SOTI's GPT, built obviously on top of our partnership with you, we are seeing 3 times faster issue resolution than that we have built in-house than the tools that are available in the market.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, and we're really excited about that. It's a pilot project for us right now, but we're working with our services leadership to expand it more and more. Also, as we were talking, the rapid fire, we talked a little bit about Google search and ChatGPT. One of the things that just crossed my mind, and I'm interested from your perspective, like personal perspective, what do you think ChatGPT is just going to do to Google search long term? It's something that I think a lot about, but I'm really keenly interested in your personal perspective of how that will impact Google search. What about their Google ad revenues? What's your take on it?
It's a really critical question at this period because search has been, I think it's primed for disruption. And I think the way that people want to get answers today is more than just a few links to websites.
Right.
And there is a financial element to this. The historical view of search would be, it would be practically 10 times cheaper to run than actually having a large language model giving you the answer that you're seeking. And so I do believe that there is a lot of innovation going on in this space. Ourselves, we have our consumer copilot, which is part of our Bing platform that essentially is designed to give those kinds of answers. And I do think that that's going to be the new world of finding what you need online.
Yeah, I tend to agree. Your financial comment that you made, I think we heard that don't say please and thank you in ChatGPT. Is that right?
That's right. Yeah. Because everything that you send over to it takes computing power.
Right.
And so they calculated that was a considerable amount, actually.
So don't be polite.
We don't need to be polite, apparently.
ChatGPT, okay.
Just right to the point, ask your question, stop at that. So speaking of AI, right? We've addressed the biggest elephant in the room, but there's always that looming concern around with great power comes great responsibility. As much as AI is probably one of the strongest tools out there that we're seeing grow at an alarming rate, there is a dramatic concern around cybersecurity and realistically how AI is going to adapt to those things, right? Or how AI is going to help them. So how is Microsoft addressing AI threats today, right? Looking at cybersecurity risks and API reliability. Are you guys also looking at possibly AI-powered security solutions on your roadmap today?
That's such a great question, Mario, and thank you for asking it. Before I get into why security is our #1 priority at Microsoft, let me tell you a little bit about the commitments we make, because at the end of the day, people need to trust how their data is being leveraged in the world of AI. And so, #1, Microsoft commits always that your data is your data. That we will never leverage your data to tune any of the models that are leveraged in our environments. And last but not least, we back everything that we do in a way that we can meet the world's most stringent security and compliance regulation and requirements for the world's largest enterprises, because we believe that then and only then that you can actually trust leveraging an AI system the way we bring it to the market. Now, from a security standpoint, we have a tremendously large digital estate across Windows, across Azure, and everything else. And we gather something in the horizon of more than 70 plus trillion security signals. That is a lot of security signals, and that then there is no way humans can stay on top of. And so this is where we need AI scale to really monitor and respond to what is needed out there. So our learnings from how to do this effectively, we try to bring it to bear in all of our security technologies. One, we integrate them end to end, and second, we make sure that that visibility and insight is made available through AI-powered security solutions. So if there is a security threat, how can you use natural language to spot it, respond to it, communicate its impact about it? And we believe that you need to be able to view everything from the identity to every device. And this is where I think our opportunity with SOTI, maybe I'm foreshadowing what is yet to come, but it is an element of how do we then expose that insight through security agents for security personnel of the enterprises we jointly serve. That's the power of what we can build together and bring to market together.
I think that'd be really cool to see bring to market is having security agents out there. So you brought up something about the amount of people it would take to be able to touch trillions of nodes. It's almost impossible, right? So looking at the development stack behind it, do you, both of you predict maybe there may be a replacement in developers using AI? How is Microsoft supporting, AI-assisted coding and automation around that?
So AI is truly revolutionizing software development by automating coding, testing, and deployment. And we are doing this with GitHub Copilot. That's our AI-assisted code generation capability. And I would say that, one, it's proven that it can actually accelerate some of these efforts by 55+%. Second, we did a little bit of research with a Harvard Business School professor, Marco Yanciti, that actually talks about, are people adopting this code more and more? And we're seeing that accelerate. So it's getting better and better every day. And the side effect of this is actually that developers are more satisfied with their jobs because they don't need to do repetitive tasks anymore. Or one of the things that a lot of them hate to do is kind of like do documentation around their code. And so all of that can be done with GitHub Copilot, and we don't believe that that's going to decrease the number of developers needed. We actually believe that more and more applications and software is needed in the world that we live in, and that will actually translate into a $1.5 trillion growth in global GDP. And so that's the kind of thing that this, I believe, will unlock.
Yeah, I think your point around job satisfaction and not doing repetitive work, that is quite a profound one. And like if you think about it, none of us want to do repetitive work, right? So whether, Mario, to your point, will it replace developers, AI will replace developers, whether we talk about developers or any other role, I don't think AI will replace necessarily a role, but I believe it will evolve it. It will take away the repetitive work. It will take away the mundane work that people don't want to do. And it can be true for developers. It could be, we talked a little bit about our services, how we're already seeing the impact of SOTI GPT in a services organization. It could be in sales, marketing, no matter what function you are, that you can leverage it to your advantage and remove the repetitive, mundane, boring work like documentation, right?
Yeah,
But necessary.
I could definitely see that.
Sure.
Documentation is probably the one thing that I would highly agree on is that, you've already completed something, you fixed it, but, there's got to be a track record behind it. And even with myself, I have to make sure all my ducks in a row, I got all my documentation set up. So using AI to help me build those things out in a format that is acceptable and visible is extremely important. So I would definitely agree with you both on that as well.
So basically what you're saying is you won't hear from me about your documentation moving forward.
You shouldn't. Maybe in other things, but definitely not my documentation. So let's jump into a little bit of Azure and cloud, right? So, we're looking at updates in Azure Cloud Services, Azure Maps, AI-powered cloud solutions. Is Microsoft working on AI-native cloud applications today at all?
Obviously, one of the biggest things for us is how do we infuse AI in every facet of every service and capability we offer, and our application stack across M365, Dynamics 365, and all that is no exception. But the reality is, AI is the new UI to any kind of application, and enterprise applications as we know them today will completely transform. But when I think about Azure, we want to make sure that there's AI companions to everything we do, and Azure's no exception. When Mustafa comes and says, why is my Azure bill at this amount? There's a co-pilot for Azure that actually can go into that, ask a question around what caused an increase or whatnot, and he can get all the details he needs in a simple, natural language request. And that's the kind of thing that we want to equip every one of our Azure users across any services or applications to be able to use.
I would like to get my hands on that. You'll get less emails from me. But I think I would say, in terms of our partnership, Miro, with Azure, we've been partners for a very long time. Few unique things that we have noticed with this partnership is, first of all, the global coverage. They have coverage in over 60 plus regions. As a global organization, we have customers from Japan to Australia, New Zealand, Asia, Europe, Africa, North America. And having a partner with that many regions really help us deliver a much faster and much more responsive service to our end customers. The other thing that our teams really leverage a lot is your DevOps tools. So your things like GitHub, Visual Studio, and the Azure DevOps, the CI, CD tools is really creating a unified environment for our modern software development. We talked a lot about AI, the AI and ML analytics that's available currently in Azure, things like your Azure OpenAI. We leverage a lot cognitive services as well as the Fabric analytics. And it really is making our teams to make or build software more easily, make more data-driven type applications with a very minimal infrastructure overhead. Other functionality that we use is, and you touched on it, is cost optimization. And for those of you who don't know, a conversation between Ehsan and I doesn't go where I'm not telling him reduce my cost and he's not telling me increase your spend. But having said that, I think you touched on it, the Azure cost management that you have, that was really helping our team. And we are currently leveraging it, not just the cost management optimization, but also the billing APIs to monitor and forecast and optimize our spending. And I'm sure if we are using it, a vast majority of your Azure customers are, and if you're an Azure customer and you're not, I highly recommend you take a look at that. The other area that I actually wanted us to chat a little bit about is, as you know, we recently did this trip that we took to Redmond to Microsoft Executive Briefing Center, right? And we saw some really cool tech and really amazing technologies there. But what really stood out is the work that you're doing in retail, right? Specifically cashless registers, smart shelves, RFIDs, personal shopper. Can you talk a little bit more about that and what you guys are doing in that space?
Absolutely. I mean, at the end of the day, we try to support the transformation of every industry out there, and specifically retail is transforming at a rapid pace. And where you're seeing is, as an example, the cashierless store. So this was a store at our Industry Innovation Center that essentially showed how someone can walk into a space, buy groceries, and never have to speak to anyone from a cashier or anything and walk out. All of that done with cameras. And what we're seeing as a trend is that labels can also be digitized, and there's shelves can have more technology built into them. At every layer, that is more hardware with digital capabilities that get added so that they can create a unique customer experience. And so I find that pretty powerful, and we've seen that kind of cashierless store deployed over 1,000 around the globe. And what I find is with this operational technology continuing to grow, may it be in retail or any other area, the ability to manage each and every one of these devices and know which ones are in use and which ones might be faulty and which ones might have a challenge or not is such an opportunity for SOTI to continue to bring your innovation to the market and manage all of these devices.
Right.
But at the end of the day, all of this is meant to bring a better experience for the consumer and the customer.
In the retail space.
In the retail space.
Speaking of retail space and stores, I gotta tell you, man, one of the things that I miss is Microsoft stores, right? Walking in and then actually playing with a Surface Book or Xbox or other technologies that you had. And you guys took it away and I miss it, but who cares what Mustafa misses, right? My question is, do you miss it? Do you see a gap right now where previously consumers could just walk in and take a look at your hardware and technology, get that touch and feel? What are your views on that? Are you going to bring them back? Do you see a gap currently? I guess that's my question. And second, if you are, is there a chance you're bringing them back and you can bring it back?
Well, it's interesting that you say, do you miss it? And I kind of do. I still remember with my son, he was obviously 5 years younger. He was like 10, and we'd walk into a mall and he would see a Microsoft store, right, and he would light up and want to go play Xbox. Obviously, that there was a sense of pride in that brick and mortar type of experience. Yet, COVID kind of had us change our strategy, and we closed most of the stores except for a few showcase stores around the globe. But we kept all the associates at the time, and they helped us actually do training for a lot of our customers that were onboarding on teams, right, during that critical time that a lot of people were forced to work from home.
Right.
And so we became digital first responders, and those folks were pretty pivotal to that. But our strategy has evolved. We believe in a partner-led strategy, and our strategy is encompassed of bringing a store within a store concept to partners like Best Buy and Staples, where you can really still go in and feel the latest, greatest Surface device or other OEM devices that are showcased there. And I don't think we're going to go back to having our own stores, as our strategy is very, very focused on AI.
So basically, you're telling me I should go and spend more time at Best Buy. That's what you're saying?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So speaking about strategies, right? We're looking at a lot of Microsoft being involved in many different verticals around the world, right? And what a lot of our viewers may be interested in is, what is Microsoft doing in healthcare, municipalities, and public sectors? Where do you see it in T&L? We've already gone through a little bit of retail, but why don't you walk us through those and what you see today?
Yeah, these are really prioritized industries for us that we do a lot of work with. At the end of the day, it's not about us, it's about what these customers actually achieve. What I get excited about is how we solve some of these challenges with AI. I'll give you an example of a couple of municipalities across Canada. May it be City of Kelowna out west, that essentially helps their citizens get answers to their bylaw questions and whatnot so that they can get their permits quicker. Or may it be the City of Burlington that used to take 15 weeks to actually get a permit to build a home or build a house or an extension and so on. And now that's been decreased to less than 5 weeks because of their usage of AI.
Oh, wow.
And we're seeing that across every industry. In transportation and logistics, it's about optimizing routes and saving on fuel and saving on energy. And there's so many use cases that are across every industry as companies really think about, how do I transform to an AI and go through an AI transformation? And they look at 4 major areas. They look at how do they enrich their employee experience so they don't do the boring stuff and the repeatable stuff, and they get automation into that. And they look at how do I, enhance the customer experience and bring a new, unique, like your example on customer service and so on. They optimizing their operations, like can I optimize for my supply chain? Can I optimize for my inventory? All of those things are super critical. And last but not least is bending the curve for innovation. Right now, the pace of work is quite high.
Right.
It's a lot to do in a single day, and people don't get the time to think about how to innovate and how to think about what's next. But unlocking AI to enable that is pretty powerful, and we see it across every industry that we get to serve.
Yeah, and I think it really does translate also to a better customer satisfaction, right? Like I give example of, services organization. Out of the cases that our SOTI GPT was able to solve, we send survey on each case that we solve, and we use net promoter scores, and our net promoter scores historically has been in the 85 to 90 range. We received back 3 serve responses on these cases, and they all were 100. So the joke that I made with our services team is, hey, looks like our customers are more satisfied using the SOTI GPT technology than actually talking to a human.
And it's interesting, and you mentioned healthcare earlier. There was a study done on doctors communicating with patients and kind of an AI agent communicating with agents. And funny enough, the empathy level of the AI communication was scored higher.
No way.
than the doctors. And it's that kind of thing that is kind of hard to comprehend today, that's possible. And yet we're seeing the advancements across the board on all of this.
Part of my face, just the thought process of a artificial intelligence having empathy, right? When I think artificial intelligence, I'm thinking very strictly factual, logical based responses, but that is so interesting that it has more empathy than a doctor. That kind of scares me a little bit. But that's quite interesting you brought that up. Now, I got one last thing before you go ahead and exit out of the show today. And I want to know, at least our viewers might want to know, what's the craziest, most mind-blowing thing going on at Microsoft right now that would just blow your mind if you were just to try to think about it?
We're working on a lot of groundbreaking projects, and obviously a lot of it in partnership with many of our customers that we serve, and all of them to address global challenges that exist. But one of them that I'm pretty proud of, our research team and the innovation, is really around quantum computing, where we built the world's first topoconductor. It's a revolutionary new class of materials that will reduce the time to truly bring meaningful quantum computers to years versus not decades. Like imagine, like we see quantum as being so far out, but the advancements have been incredible. And for those of you that might wonder what is quantum computing,
just about to ask.
The simple way of talking about it is in computing today, we're talking about bits, which is the like a light switch that is on or off, 1 or 0.
Black or white.
Black or white. In quantum, there is a lot of gray. And so there is qubits, quantum bits, can be a 1 and a 0 at the same time, and in everything in between. So that's kind of like a light dimmer.
Right.
And so that allows for a lot more parameters to be taken in, so that as a result, it can actually help us solve some of the world's biggest challenges. And to me, the advancements we made with the topological core, Majorana 1, is pretty amazing, because it's smaller, faster, takes on more qubits, a bit more, manages the errors a whole lot better. It's less error prone, which is incredible advancement. And those are the kind of things that I'm like, wow, what could the world be when we can get some assistance like quantum computing to help us solve some of the world's biggest challenges?
Very cool.
I'd say quantum computing is going to be the next biggest thing, right? So I came from a cybersecurity background, and you really think about it, now when we look at how cybersecurity works today, quantum computing can calculate so astronomically fast, you could break a key like this, right? So I love seeing that challenge to the market, and I'm looking forward to seeing even quantum computing when it comes to cybersecurity as well. So Mustafa, from your side, what do you think's the latest and greatest that you're allowed to tell us?
Well, I think it's no secret, Mario, to our viewers and our partners and yourselves, right, that in the last few years, we have actually transformed as an organization. And it's not just for us about the EMM, but it is obviously it is our bread and butter product, and we're still really bringing a lot of innovation there. But our transformation has actually been around providing businesses with more business intelligence, operational intelligence, bringing more visibility and visualization and advanced diagnostics so our customers could manage their cost better and could actually prevent downtime, increase productivity. And as much as we have in the last few years have brought a lot more to the market, I am excited and thrilled with where we're going. And we will unveil a lot of that in our upcoming end user and partner conference at SOTI Sync in Montreal. So if you're interested to know what are some of the really cool big things that we are working, I encourage you to join us at SOTI Sync. You will be there. You're
definitely going to be there. I'm excited.
That's awesome. We're looking forward to it, and we can talk to you at SOTI Sync about all our technologies and groundbreaking new innovations that we will bring to the market.
So sorry to our audience, but you're going to have to wait for SOTI Sync. And if you guys need tickets today, look in the description below. My referral link is down there for you to go ahead and click. So with that being said, gentlemen, I really want to thank you for your time today. Ehsan, it's been a pleasure. The quantum computing side from my side was super interesting. And Mustafa, thank you so much for being a great co-host with me, going through and bringing an amazing guest on the show today. What I really want to do is be able to know from the both of you, if somebody wanted to get in touch with you around some of the things you're doing at Microsoft or from SOTI's perspective, what's the best way to contact you? Ehsan, why don't we start with you and then Mustafa?
First, it was great to be part of this. And if anyone has any questions and wants to reach out, can easily be found on LinkedIn. Just look up Ehsan Youssef.
Got it.
Yeah, and I'll echo the same. Thanks for having me as a co-host, and I hope I'm invited again. But to get in touch with me, I would say TikTok. I'm kidding. Again, yeah, same. LinkedIn. I think we all, if you want to get in touch, if you have any questions, feel free to look me up on LinkedIn or send me an email at mustafa.ebadi@soti.net.
With that being said, gentlemen, thank you so much again for your time. For our viewers today, if you're interested in any other things you might want us to cover, leave us comments at the bottom. So do us a favor, click that like button and smash that subscribe button. For any of the comments, we'll get back to you in the bottom. Thank you for tuning in to SOTI TV, and we will see you next time.